pieces are the largest, some of the largest works in the show that are ceramics. And to somebody who is not expert in ceramics, they might not understand that to create vessels so large, thrown vessels, it's really, really difficult and quite a challenge. Can you talk about these large jars?
Making large pots is a challenge, and what got me really involved in these pots, particularly the two on the right, was every time summer would roll around, I would go into the studio with the idea that I'm not going to teach summer school, but I'm going to try to make large pots. And in 3 months' time, I would have a certain amount of success, and it would stop because school would begin and I would be back teaching. So I applied for a sabbatical where I took 9 months off and I did nothing but try to make large pots. And that's where the two pots on the right come in. And it got to the point where the largest pots I made would just fit in the kiln. They were designed to be 48 inches tall with the lids in place when they were first fired. We talked earlier about using calipers. Calipers to make lids, calipers to make the lid seats and the lids fit. This pot is the first one of this series, and it has a small bowl form that was made separately. It was thrown up to about here at the widest part. That was made separately. Calipers were used to make about up to here separately, and then calipers were used to finish off the top. So the pot here is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces tall and a fifth piece, all using calipers to get the right dimensions. This pot is 1 piece to here, leaving a little definition. So it's got the bowl form, the cylinder, the dome, and this piece separate, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces tall, and the lid. Calipers, again, are my favorite tool. I use them extensively. This one, 1 piece to here, 1 piece to here. This piece is thrown separate, and they're all attached, and then the lid. So it's 4 pieces tall. This is the cylinder, the dome, and the lid. 3 pieces fitted together. If you hear that, it doesn't sound like this. It has a thud to it. This pot was fired in the Anagama kiln at Clemson University last spring. When it came out of the kiln, because the kiln is so large, it takes about 20 people to fire the kiln, and sometimes 20, maybe 30 people participate in loading the kiln. They're all there to unload the kiln and see their work. This pot came out of the kiln, and I'm not exaggerating when I say there were gasps in the audience. It was so beautiful. It was such a stunning pot. It was put on a shelf with other pots. People hand it one to another, and finally it ends up on the shelf. And then you hear this crack. And this pot split down the middle on both sides. At that point I thought, okay, well, something's going wrong. I don't know what it is. I brought the pot home, I put it on a workbench, and I came back the next morning, and the lid was in 3 pieces. The pot, all the cracks had opened up a little bit more. Why is this in the show? Because it looks so good. Is it for sale? No, you can't sell broken pots. This is what makes me humble when I work with clay. Now, I've talked to a lot of people that have more experience in ceramics than I do. Nobody has a concrete reason for why this pot broke. It was either the clay didn't like the firing, the glaze didn't like the firing, the clay and the glazes didn't like each other, or the glaze on the inside and the glaze on the outside shrunk at different rates, and the clay couldn't withstand those shrinking rates, and the clay cracked. Or, and this is the hairy thing, it's a combination of some of those elements. It's either the firing, the clay, the glaze, or how the glazes and the firing are used. So it's a learning process. This is nothing but an experience on what hopefully not to do again, and try step by step to figure out how to produce work in ceramics that comes out successfully.